Hey guys, it's John from NHL Tips. In this video, we're going to show you 10 ways to bet on NHL hockey. The bets in this video can be made at online sportsbooks like Pinnacle Sports, Bet365, Sports Interaction, Bodog, Bovada, William Hill, and Bet Online. Okay, the first one is the money line. This is the simplest to understand. It's basically who's going to win the game. So in this example, if you take Calgary at plus 100, that means if you bet 100, you'll win 100. And if you take Columbus, you're betting 120 to win 100. That's what the minus 120 means. It doesn't matter whether they win in overtime or shoulda, as long as they win. If you take them on the money line, you win. The second one is the puck line. The puck line is like a point spread in football or basketball. The advantage of the puck line is that you can risk less to bet on the favorite, or you have a better chance of winning on an underdog. It's a plus 1.5 in this example. So Calgary loses the game by 1, they would cover plus 1.5, and Columbus minus 1.5 would have to win by 2, but you could get $230 on a $100 bet. The third one is the total, also known as the over-under. This is a fun one. It's also pretty simple to understand. If the amount of goals scored by both teams combined is over, in this case, 5.5, so 4-2 would be six goals, then that the over would win. And if it's less than 5.5, like a 3-2 game or 3-1, then the under 5.5 would win. The fourth one is parlays. Canadians who play provincial lotteries are very familiar with this. You can bet one game at a time with sports books, but you can also combine them onto a parlay. Parlays are when you combine several different outcomes onto one ticket. You have to get them all right to win, but they multiply by each other, so you can risk a little and win a lot. They're just more difficult to win. Number 5 is the regulation time bet. This is a way to avoid having your bet decided by overtime or a shootout where it's a bit more random. You could either take money line regulation time, where if the game is tied after regulation, it cancels, or you could take the puck line, where the favorite would need to win in regulation time, or the underdog would win if it went to overtime because they're getting half a puck on the puck line. The sixth is team totals. That's kind of like over-under, except you're just betting on one team, the number of goals they'll score, over or under. It's useful if you're not quite sure who's going to win the game, but you have a strong feeling about how many goals one of the teams is going to score. It's also a way to bet on a favorite without maybe laying 200 to win 100. You could just take them over 2.5 or 3.5, and maybe you'll get better odds on that bet. Live betting is a way to bet on the game while it's in action, while it's live. Most sports books allow you to do this. Pinnacle Sports only allows you to do it during intermissions, but as you can see in this example here, the odds will change drastically whenever a goal is scored. If you want to bet on a favorite and they get off to a slow start, you could get much better odds in them in live betting. Number 8 is alternate lines. This is a way to go for a big score. If you think there's going to be a blowout, more than, say, minus 1.5 on the puck line, you could lay 2.5, 3, whatever. You could also play it a little bit safer and take a team not to lose by more than 2 or 3. You could play alternate over-under and get easier numbers to cover or harder numbers to cover at better odds. Number 9 is period betting. That's when you're just betting on the result of a specific period. William Hill, in this example, allows you to bet on all 3 periods before they begin. Some sportsbooks will only allow you to bet on the first period before the game begins, and then you can bet on the second period after the first period in live betting. You can bet on who would win the period, you can bet on the puck line in the period, and you can bet on the over-under. 10th and final way to do NHL betting is props and futures. With props, you're betting on things to happen in the game, like in this example, whether certain players will score or not. You can see here at William Hill, you can bet on them to score the first goal, the last goal, or at any point during the game. That's a fun one. And futures betting, the most common one on the right here is Stanley Cup betting, where you can just pick which team's going to win the Stanley Cup this year, and you could get a huge payout if you're right.